Okay, I want to relate a story here. Now, I've told it here a couple times, but it's been a while. There's the same. I read a story in a couple different books, and there was a pro TV program from about 20 years ago or something, where they would tell about, they tell like four different stories. Some of them are true, some of them are false. This was presented as a true story. But okay, this lady. Now, the reason I'm repeating this story, that I watched it was either Avery After Dark or Haley Reese, was one of those, but she was telling, it was actually a ghost story. I'm going to get into the storyline of that in a minute, but okay, this lady, as this story goes, every night this lady would dream of a particular house. Now, every night we go out of body. It's called out of body experience or astral projection, but as a general rule, I mean, everybody, during deep sleep, we go out of body, and sometimes we remember it as a dream, sometimes we don't. Now, there's some people that can do it consciously. But anyway, this lady would dream of this particular house. She knew where everything was at, and she'd wake up, and it was really exciting for her. But anyway, her and her husband were looking for a bigger house. They just turned the countryside for houses. And this lady looked at this house, and she said, "Oh my God, that's a house I dream about every night." And and she said, "Let's get out." And her husband says, "No, I don't think so, honey. This, it's private property." And I said, "Oh, it'll be okay." So she's wandering around the property, and she bumped into this lady, and this lady, and they begin the conversation. And this lady said, "Well, I'm the real estate agent of this, for this house." And the lady go, I'd be curious about this house if it's for sale. She said, "Yeah, it's for sale." She tells the price, and the husband says, "My God, that's a very, very cheap price for a house this size and in this neighborhood and stuff." And the guy asked, the real estate agent, "Why so cheap?" And the real estate agent said, "Well, I don't personally believe in ghosts, but this house, the lady that owns the house, believe it's haunted, so she just wants to get rid of it." And they continue, going through the house, and the lady, and the agent said, "Well, yeah, go ahead and run it through the house. It's fine with me." Said that the homeowner will be home later, and the lady's running through the house, and said, "Oh, everything is exactly as as I dreamed it." And after a little bit, the homeowner comes home and looks at this lady, and she goes, "Oh my God, you're my ghost." It turns out the lady was astral projected into the house, in her astral body. You're exactly the same as a ghost. But anyway, she ends up buying the house, but. Now, in the storyline told by it's here on YouTube, like I said, it's either Haley Reese or Avery After Dark is one of those, because they have very, very similar content. But anyway, this particular lady had bought this house, but years before she would dream going through this house, but there was a murder that had been the homeowner had been murdered. And somebody set his car on fire, and but this lady would dream of following the same path through the house that the guy had been murdered, and it's one of those. It's somewhere down in Florida, but it's still an open case. No one can figure a reason why somebody would want to kill this guy, but he was killed at close range with a shotgun, and they still don't know what to deal with. That's what reminded me of this. But you periodically hear of these stories of. Somebody will be late at night. Somebody will be watching TV in the living room, and suddenly, a guy will be watching late night TV, and suddenly he sees, the fuzzy image of his wife floating down the hallway, and he goes, "Oh my God, what's happened?" And he goes in and finds his wife fast asleep. Now she's in her astral body, out of her body, while she's asleep, perfectly natural. I mean, we all do that, but I think a lot of ghosts are actually living people mistaken, actually living people in their astral body mistaken as a ghost, because they're exactly the same thing, except they've got a living body to return to. Okay, love you. Bye-bye.